What's up, lads? So building off my last video, I got to double check it's recording. Lads, test. So building off my last video, so my last video was where your attention goes, essentially you get more of. So this is going to be how to capture your attention back for a lot of you guys. Again, similar to the last video that I did, you guys can watch it again to see the very full story of it. But it's generally the concept of what you focus on multiplies, you get more of. Are you giving your energy and attention away into causes that don't serve you, causes you're not going to benefit from, causes that essentially you don't control? Are you placing your validation externally? Again, the chain is all of your validation, all parts of it coming from something that's outside of yourself. See, all of these goods and luxury goods and things that you can buy, yes, ultimately when you actually become a success. But if you're buying all of this crap before you're actually rich, see, when you're rich and you buy nice clothes and buy all of this stuff, it doesn't really matter. Like my apartment's $4,000 a week. This one, I live right near the big fuck off buildings, like all of the nice shit. I live near all of these nice spots. But understand that that's only because I invested and I actually saved money. I invested well, I saved money, I did the right thing and to essentially live like this. Because if I had have lived crazy and actually blew all of my income as I got it, I would never have been a multi-millionaire. I wouldn't be a multi-millionaire that I am now. And spending is still a problem for me. I need to find ways to also curb spending, because even if you spend like me, I probably spend $1 million a year because my apartment's $4,000 a week, many other things. I live in Dubai. I have the best of everything, I believe. I have Lamborghini, I have Porsche, I have many other nice things. But understand that, again, I only have them because I was careful to buy them when I could actually afford them. I bought my first Porsche, like I said, I bought a Porsche Boxster, and I bought that in Australia, but I was already a millionaire when I bought it. I already had $1 million, and then I bought it in cash. So again, I already could have bought it, not 10 times over, but close to that before I bought it. And that's what made me the success that I ended up becoming. I had to delay gratification. That's, again, not an exciting concept, but that is the concept that you yourself, specifically if you're coming up as a brokey or you're not rich or you're this and that, you're going to have to do that. See, some of you are out of shape and things like that and are complete fucking whales, and you're going to have to be uncomfortable. See, a fatty is going to have to understand the concept that you're going to have to be uncomfortable. It took a long time to get there, and it's going to take a considerable time to get better, but you can get better day by day. That's the concept. I've been a fat fuck before. When I was young, I was 18 years old and 120 kilos. I went to a Counter-Strike tournament, and because I used to play professionally, and this was back when we made no money. I got the train down there from Gippsland. I had no money. I was a brokey, and then I went down to the tournament, and I used to play online, so no one had really seen me, and I was playing my LAN tournament or whatever, but mostly I played online. And then I got to the tournament, and people saw that I was fat, and I had no style, and I was poor, and I had all of these things wrong with me. I had bad skin, I had bad psoriasis, many other things. I had lots of pimples all over me. I was completely out of shape. I had come in from the basement, essentially, to go to this Counter-Strike tournament. And a lot of people, after the tournament happened, I remember that I played shit ass because I was under so much pressure. I felt like shit. I was like worried because people were staring at me and I wasn't used to a lot of attention. I was convinced that I had social anxiety disorder, all of these other things that I hadn't had from being a basement dweller. So when people come to me and talk to me about 4chan and all of these things, and like I'm from that era, like I'm from the MISC bodybuilding forums, I was on there. That's the thing that ultimately I changed my life through. But people laughed at me and put photos up and made videos and shit and mocked me, and then said that I was a fat fucking idiot. And then essentially it crushed me at first. People making fun of me, posting it online, posting threads and stuff about me, because I'd only ever played online. But that inspired me, that motivated me. Of 6 to 12 months after that, I quit Counter-Strike and then got into the gym, stopped being a fucking whale, being a fat fucking idiot. And then I realized also after that, I started to learn about nutritions, compounds, chemicals, all of these sort of pharmaceutical stuff, like pharmacology. I learned a lot about that. I thought, how am I going to get thin as quick as I could? I had many things that I tried. I actually tried many different diet stuff. They didn't have Ozempic back then. That wasn't a thing. But ultimately I would get down to a healthy weight. I would work in security after that. And then I would eventually join the military. That didn't go so well. I was in the army. But then those are all the things that made me. All of that stuff made me that exact moment, because I used to get teased in school as well. But I I left school and worked. So I worked and I also played Counter-Strike, but I was a brokey. I never really had any money. And I only had to have worked like fast food crap and shitty jobs, and like I worked at a bakery and just a bunch of crap. My job was to get hot pans out of they had like a conveyor belt, and it would just be pans of bread. And the bread would go through, and then they'd take it out, and then the pans would come back out, and you had to take them out and wash them. That was my job, taking them out and washing them, and it was fucking getting burnt all day. Like, you'd pick the pans up, and then every now and then you'd get lazy and just like they'd touch you, just the corners, and then you'd burn yourself. But that's life. Like, I'm not saying that that's the worst job, because I know people that have had many worse jobs, but it sucked. It was just a regular shit job. Pay was minimum wage. I didn't have really any money. My parents are not rich people. They don't really have any money either. But that's neither here nor there. You know, that's the way that life goes. You only have the hand that you're dealt. You can still win with bad cards. You can still lose with good cards. It's still in the actual playing of the hand and how the universe will essentially see. I'll introduce you guys to a concept that I've never heard anyone else discuss. You are given the cards that you're dealt. So you originally dealt the cards that you're dealt. So let's say we're playing poker and you get dealt cards and you were dealt like shitty 7-2 offsuit. But the flop, the turn, and the river are actually decided by you. But you can't fathom such a concept yet, because you don't know how that stuff works. You created the card, like you created the cards from that very moment. Like the cards that come to you are the cards that you think that you deserve. And actually, to a degree, the large degree, they're actually the cards that the universe has declared that you deserve as well. Because everything that, I believe the law of attraction, I get asked questions on that very regularly. It's somewhat true. The world is attracted and essentially responds to who you are, not who you pretend you are, not who you claim to be, not who you virtue signalize, but actually who you are. But you guys essentially also don't know how to preserve your energy and use it in good ways, and also don't know how to curate your reality. Curating your reality is the most important. What you tolerate, what you exist in, what you encourage, you get more of. The things that you reject, avoid, and step away from, you get less of in this life. And that can be good and bad. A lot of people reject and push away from the very things that are actually things that are going to make them better. And they're encouraged or taught to push into the things that are going to destroy their life. So if you listen to influencers and you listen to podcasters and you listen to all this crap, you're going to find nothing but trouble in this life. Like nothing but shit. They're entertaining you. They're entertainers. Their life is meant to be extreme. But then now, for some reason, you think that's a role model to live that sort of a lifestyle, and it's not. A lot of that stuff is crap. Like that's the path that you don't want to go down. You're just giving them your energy, attention, all of this shit. And some of you can't discern that that's not reality. Like it's not real life. I know many of these people, and they're not like that behind the closed doors. It's an act. But for you, it's you can take it too serious. So again, part of it is capturing your attention back. And it's fucking boring pen and paper shit. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's all glamorizing, because it's not exciting. Everything that's exciting is going to cost you something in this life as a man. That's the way that it goes. Everything that's thrilling. The road to hell is paved. If the road to hell feels like the road to heaven, and the road to heaven feels like the road to hell, that's very, very, very true. That's the way that it's designed. The mirror concept. It's the same thing. Like everything that feels good, eating shit, fucking whores, what else? Taking drugs, drinking, all of these things done to excess. They feel good. Like it feels good to have a big ego and be told that you're the man and all of this shit. And I don't help anyone. I don't do anything for anyone else. But you're extracting, and eventually something bad is going to happen with those sort of mindsets. It can lead to addiction. Lots of drama, like you're going to have a ton of drama in your life. You're going to have addiction. A lot of that shit, the influences in that they have a lot of drama around them, but usually can get out of it because they're there for a reason. But when you try to emulate it, you don't have their wealth, you don't have their network, you don't have those people propping you up, so you run into problems. A lot of that shit, like essentially, it's be irresponsible with your seed. You're going to knock up some chick who you didn't want to knock up, or you're going to have problems because of that. Like how many shit exists just running around fucking whores? That's not very good. See, sexual energy is transferred. See, people don't understand the concept that when you fuck someone, it's an emotional exchange. Like they're exchanging energy with you. Sex is a big thing, specifically when you orgasm. So if you're fucking like confused whores, you're gonna generate a lot of shit into your life. Like that should be a given. If you fuck trash, you're kind of going to become trash over time. It seems like pretty obvious to many. Like if you're sleeping next to a girl who's garbage, you're probably it's going to fuck your life up as well. Because again, a concept that again I could explain to you guys, you become what you're around. See, if I'm around a lot of my friends and girls that I see and things like that, they're all like in the low 20s, early to mid 20s. Some are 30. Some of the guys that I hang out with are 30. But that's I'm becoming what I'm around. See, it's something that's like biological. Your body understands who it is by who it's around. Like there's something in here. I believe it's all comes from internal and it's reflected in the external. But whether you believe it's just chemical compounds are like pushing out pheromones, all of those things. But your body regulates based on who it's around. It finds a period of homeostasis and where it's at and what level it's at, what age it's at, all of these things based on who it's around. If I'm around old people, like when I was at the Veterans Hospital, I was in a Veterans Army Hospital, Keith Payne unit in Greenslopes. I was there for 14 months, 24 hours a day. I know all about people that are sick. I know all about people that are injured. I know all about people that have problems with mental health. I was around just nothing but veterans, people who were good guys but fucked up from the war, fucked up from many things and struggles that they'd had since then. Some had physical issues as well, but vast majority had mental health stuff, that their mental health was damaged in some way. Like they were really struggling with it. And when I was there, I was around old guys and guys who were convinced some guys were dying, some guys died there. The guys that were very unhealthy or they had issues going on. And when I was around there, felt like I aged like 10 or 20 years. I became an old man because I was in the hospital for 14 months straight. I was around people that were old, sick and slow and had slowed down. I myself slowed down. I felt weak. After I had gotten out of there, I felt weak because I was medicated also. And then I would go to prison after that. I was go to prison on medication and had to come off Seroquel in prison, vomiting and all of these side effects and things like that. So I understand the pharmacology game well from both sides, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm saying that the argument is that you become what you're around. So if you're around old people, if I start hanging around 60-year-old people, I'll die earlier. I'll die sooner than I will if I'm around people who are like in their 20s or 30s. I won't get sick as easily because they're youthful. My body feels, if you can only justify it as a means that my body has to keep up and compete with them, so it also stays at a youthful age. I've taken more drugs than probably anyone on this fucking internet, and I look pretty fucking young. I'm young and pretty strong. I'm fucking boxing. I've got a boxing match in a week. I'm still doing shit. Like I've had more injuries than many others. There's many things that have broken on my body that I don't talk about, because I've had many injuries, but I don't focus on that. See, I don't focus on injuries and pain and all of this crap on myself because I don't want more of it. See, I don't need a story for why I can quit. I don't need the story of like some people need the bad experience or something happens or I get an injury because now I've got an excuse to stop. A friend of mine died. We were at a Costa Rican trip and we all went together to do an Iboga retreat and she died there. And for a lot of people that would destroy them. Like that would be the thing that breaks them. I'd invited her there. I wouldn't say under my care, but partly. And then she died and I have to deal with all of the ramifications of that. I'm not too happy with it or I don't really feel great about it. And I have all of this shit, that I somewhat feel like she shouldn't have been there and all of this stuff. And maybe I could have watched her more or could have seen that she didn't leave the facility and all of this shit. Maybe it wasn't a safe environment for her. But I have to keep living. I can't stop. People rely on me. Like people are counting on me to do shit, as her family and other people and things. Everyone's counting on me to deliver. Like I can't just sit there and fall in a heap. See, that's the responsibility of the man. Like when you're a man, it's your job. The man works until his back breaks and then he can stop. Like if something's just broken, that's just the way that it goes. Like that's the way life is. You can't quit because you can't get back up once you stop. Like once you quit, there's no coming back for a man. Like quitting gets more quitting. As such, I didn't quit in the Veterans Hospital. I'm not going to quit now. I'm going to continue to go forward. You'll see when I box, I don't quit. I don't have any quit in me. I just continually move forward. I don't care if I lose. That's the thing. I'm only against myself. When I box or something like that, I'm against me. I'm against the worst parts of myself. The hedonism, the drugs, the whores, the chicks, the other stuff that's happened, all of the crap from the past and all of this shit. That's who I'm fighting against. Because I know that when I train, I don't take drugs, I don't drink, I do all of the shit that's right. So I'm fighting, my best self is fighting my worst self because it's a mirror. See all of the shit, those ideas people don't really fathom. When I box, I don't do the other bad shit because I'm training and I have a fight and I have all of this stuff. So I'm fighting the worst parts of myself. So that's why I do it, because I know that that's part of it. Those are also, as you would accept when you have a shadow, a lot of the shadow work and things like that people don't really reflect on or understand. There can be your worst parts, but there's still a part of you. You can't hate the other parts of you that exist. Like you need all of them to be a success. You need even the Machiavellian traits that some people say are bad and all of the shit. You need all of that part to be a success. See, the dark side of people can actually be their best side. And if they can adopt and bring it in. So you can bring in all of the aspects of yourself and all of your shades and all of your things if you can control yourself. See, self-control is the ultimate thing. Like, it's the thing that you need. You can't just ignore parts of yourself just because you're scared of them or you can't control them or all of these things. Some people are scared to get angry. Some people are scared to yell. Some people are scared to do all of these things. And if they're honest with themselves, it's because they don't think they can control themselves. They're going to lose control. And eventually they will, because they've crushed all of these things away for so long that eventually it's going to explode. That's the way that it goes. Like, people in hospital when I was there, there's people who explode outwardly and people that explode inwardly. And the ones who explode outwardly are the least dangerous people, because they're the ones that you can see it. You know that they're venting all of the time. Like, they're angry, they're yelling, they're doing shit. It's the ones that eventually implode or do something really negative. And then you're like, why did you do that? And it's just been built up for like 5 or 10 years. They've been squashing that part of themselves down. And then one day it just explodes out. So again, reflecting and owning all of the parts of yourself is extremely important, because it gives you less things to pull on. Like, I know myself that I'm not perfect, so no one can shame me or guilt me or things like that, because I always am very honest about where I'm at. I might keep a very honest dialogue with yourself. That's part of, again, what you focus on expands, but you accepting parts of yourself that you yourself might not be perfect, but that's how you can grow. Like, you grow by accompanying or accepting all of you into yourself, like all of the parts of you. Again, it's pen and paper concepts. I'll get back to those. Like drawing down your plan, like your goals for the next 1, 2, 5 years, the next 1 year. For some of you, you're starting from can be just what's your goal for the next month, what's your goal for the next week. Some of you can't think like 1 year ahead. Like TikTok and things like that have destroyed your like long-term thinking for a lot of you. Those ideas, like you're used to watching shorts and like everything's very rapid. Like, how can I worry about tomorrow? Like, worrying even about tomorrow or planning tomorrow is difficult for some people. So they need to start planning like a week ahead or a month ahead, or if you're further along, a year ahead, 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead, because you're never going to get anywhere if you're not looking at exactly where you want to go. I keep abundance around me. Like, you know, I got my Lamborghini video painting back there. I keep abundance around me. I don't keep Lamborghinis around because I have a Lamborghini. It's not that great, I'll tell you. They're nice cars and nice to drive around, but it's not a personality. It doesn't make you a dick any bigger. It doesn't make you a lot better in that regard. But I like to be around abundance. Like, it's an abundance thing. It's a valuable thing. It's an accomplishment. One time ago, I had a dream to have a Lamborghini, and I never thought that I would own one. See, I never thought that I would have all of this shit. That's my downfall, is that I never thought big enough. And that my downfall is I never thought big enough, and I was too distracted by whores. Like, and when I say whores, I don't mean that all women are bad or all of these things, but that's like short-term sex, I mean. I was a whore myself, and in some ways still am. That's just the part, that's life. Like, I'm very real, very honest and open about where I stand. A lot of you gurus are LARPing as trad guys, and they're not. Like, conservatives, and they're not. Like, they're constantly in trouble based on where they put their dick. Like, they have zero dick control. Dick control is extremely important. Like, you can't fuck everyone that you want to fuck, because you run into problems. You can't do all of the shit that you want to do. You can't fuck like prostitutes and hookers and shit like that and not have any consequences from those sort of ideas. Like OnlyFans hoes and all that stuff. Like, you think that you're not going to get problems from that sort of energy, but it comes through. You know, those sort of ideas do push through, especially during sex. Their shit will become your shit. Again, what you're around, you're going to get into your life. Like, you're absorbing their energy during sex. It's a real thing. And they're absorbing yours, yes. But if they're chaotic or fucked up or like deceptive or all of this stuff, it's going to come through to you. It creates more chaos. Life should be lived as like you're through a filter. You're always heading where your goal is. See, how are you going to determine what your life path is? For most of you, will never find your life path, like your whole life, and then eventually, for most, it meets you at some point, but you're not ready for it. See, destiny meets people on the road that they seek to avoid it, because it's going to meet you anyway. Like, destiny is a real thing. There's certain loops and certain parts and certain karmas and things that have gone through life that will eventually meet you. And if you haven't done the work and the preparation and things like that, you're going to have a bad time, or you're not going to be able to capture that moment. See, my moment for crypto, and people say I got lucky, I got this, I got that. I don't really care what people say. There's only luck if you're actually doing shit to go in that direction. I met a guy during a drug deal. Then this was in Gold Coast, and I met him, and he was he owned a crypto casino, and this was when Bitcoin was like $800 or $700. And I only went there because a friend of mine was meant to go there, and he didn't want to go. He said the guy's a weirdo, or he's annoying, or he's this and that. And then he's like, don't talk to him because he's annoying, and he's annoying, but so just go there, drop it off and leave. And I went there, and this guy was fighting with his girlfriend at the time, and his girlfriend left, and he looked like he needed a friend, like he looked sad. He was like a little crypto guy, but he was still a nice guy, but he was fucked up on drugs. And he told me the story of how this was when Bitcoin was like $1,000 or less. He told me how he was already worth like tens of millions of dollars from Bitcoin. He owns a casino in Bitcoin, like a crypto casino, but they do Bitcoin dice and all that crap. And then he explained the tech to me, explained what it is, what it could be. He told me a thesis for why he thought that it would be like $10,000, and it eventually played out pretty much the same time frame. And he told me that he's like, the bottom on Bitcoin is essentially like fiat, like they run the mirror. The fiat will continue to expand, so he's like, the price of Bitcoin will continue to expand with it. He's like, so essentially it has no real top unless fiat collapses. And then he explained the concepts to me, and I thought, this guy, he's onto something. Like, obvious. He was the richest person that I'd ever met, and I was selling drugs, so I'd only known fast money. So someone who had tens of millions of dollars of assets, I realized is way ahead of me. And then I realized the decentralized nature, like you can own crypto and you don't worry about it being seized and all of these things. And then I remember his like openness and his naivety to tell me this when he showed me that he had like a treasure or something like that. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, I could just rob this guy. But his like naivety and innocence, I didn't want to rob him. See, I'm not a bad guy. People can say that I am and all of this stuff, but I'm only bad to people that are bad. I don't rob or fuck over people that are good people. You can check all of my history. I've never ripped off anyone that's like an honest person or fucked anyone over or done anything that's normal. I had someone said, oh, I got an attempted insurance fraud. Yeah, I tried to burn a car out, and that was like, I don't consider those people. A lot of those people are fucking trash. Like, those corpos are scum anyway, so I don't care about that shit. And that was a very long time ago, and I took that specific charge. So that would leave that for people's imagination. And other things, I've never wronged people who are normal people. People say, oh, you sold drugs to this person and coke to this and this. It's not the same. It's not the same selling coke to people who want coke as it is to selling like fentanyl or heroin or all of this shit. There's tiers of crime. Like, there's levels to the game. I didn't sell to any minors. I never sold to, like, you know, the youth or people at risk or things like that. And maybe people did. The lower down were selling people to, but that's like life. You're not going to make a jump from poverty. See, I was in poverty. I wasn't just poor. To poverty to actually being rich without getting dirty along the way. So you still think that that's possible? That's not possible anymore. Like, everything's changed in that regard. You're going to have to do something that other people don't want to do, and that might be because it's illegal, that might be because or immoral, that might be because there's some morality attached to it. Certain funds and big investors can't touch that field because it's too immoral or make them look bad. There's dirty, like you're going to get your hands dirty. It might just be muddy work, like dirty work, like dealing with trash and all this stuff, like dealing with crap that no one else wants to deal with. Certain trades and things that people don't like to do. Working in the mines, people don't want to do that. Like, you're going to have to do something that people don't want to do, because everything that people want to do is very saturated. Like, you're going to have to make that jump across, and you better be damn sure it's a jump across. It's not something that you can just step over. You're taking a leap of faith of something that can destroy you. I took a leap of faith and did a lot of time in jail because of it. So I've had my punishment for what I did. And as such, I don't think that, you know, I've paid my dues in that regard. And others to say that I haven't, that's their decision, whatever. I'm on here telling people shit for free that what they should do to change their life. And ultimately, you know, that sort of thing, the pen and paper, like, write down your goals for the next 1, 2, 5, 10 years. Where do you want to be? For a lot of you, I would write down an inventory of where you're at. What qualities about yourself do you like? and what qualities about yourself do you not like. And then I would do an inventory of another man that you respect and another man that you don't respect, and write down good qualities about them. The closer that they are to you, the better, because then it's more personal. Someone who's in your life, that you write down the qualities about them that you like, and I wish I could do this, or they're good at this, or they're good at that. And then also write down the qualities about them that are bad, or things that you don't like, or qualities that you wouldn't want to emulate, because now you're pushing that out into the world, like you're pushing out a frame. There's a frame of what you now consider ideal, and now there's a frame of what you consider shit. And that's like you're teaching yourself. Imagine that you're a computer, you're absorbing data. Like AI itself runs on data. Humans run on that very much the same. You're taking in data, but proper data, like data that's actually personalized for you. That's what you need to start taking in, a frame, like a framework. This is now you've got a caricature for who you would like to be. And then you can step into that caricature over time. See, that's at the master level. Like that's all it is in this life. You're designing who you want to be, and you can actually step into it, and you can also step into that life. But it's not done through LARPing. See, a lot of fucking dorks, like guys, think that they're fighters and boxers, and they do all of these in the photos. They got their fists up and all this shit, and they're shit boxers, like they're shit fighters. They're crappy. I'm an okay boxer. I don't do that gay shit, like running around acting like I'm some super Terminator Hulk maniac, because it's all bullshit. Like it's all pretend. How many guys I know do those photos and shit, and they can't fight really at all? And then they run around and do it. They don't unaware. Like they lack self-awareness. You're not good at shit, so don't act like you are. Don't act like a fighter if you're not a fighter. I'm not a fighter. Although I have fought my whole life, but I'm not a guy who runs in the ring and fights and does all of that shit, because I know that I'm just okay. But again, I'm very calibrated. The world rewards the calibrated man, the man who knows where he stands, because he lives completely in his own truth. And people, you got to understand, people will come to not like you if you're like that. People will come to envy you. I have people that envy me in my own way, and they don't envy me that I have money. They envy me that I'm congruent, and I can come on here and say that I've had drug addictions, gambling addictions, bad habits, fucked a lot of girls around and fucked a lot of girls over, cheated on a zillion girls. That's not to say that I believe that I'm always a cheater, but my definition is different. I think cheating is if you lie to the person, you know, that you fuck someone else and then you lie about it. That's to me, deception is the lowest form of man to me. If you do shit and it's truthful, if someone disrespects me and I don't like them, I will smack them. I don't care where it is. And I will deal with the consequences after that. And sometimes there's consequences that's very dire. But I live to be truthful. If I don't like someone, I don't pretend that I like them. I don't care if they have 1 million followers. I don't care if there's millions of dollars to be gained by keeping this person around. If I don't like them, I will not be around them. So people envy that about me. That I keep it real, like I'm very real like that. I'm loyal to people even if they have nothing to offer me, but loyalty themselves, like friendship. I don't care if people aren't rich. I don't care if people have no clout. I still will hang out with them and spend time with them if they're loyal to me and I value the company. So that's very different to a lot of others. A lot of the other influencers and guys like that, they're only usually using each other. They're all fake. Like they're only around each other because they have shit to offer each other, mostly clout. I know famous people, I know quite a few, and I don't really care that they're famous, because I've also seen into that sort of a mix, and I know that a lot of the famous people are fucked up. They're doing weird shit. They're like, it's very feminine. A lot of the shit, like the streamers and things like that specifically, they're taught how to act from their chat, like they're just acting as to be a caricature to please their fans. I'm not trying to please others. I just live to be true to myself. I'm going down my own life path. I already know what it is. I've realized it many times over. And the world or the universe or all of that, how do I have so much? Because the universe can rewards you for who you are. Again, not who you pretend to be. And you can only become true to yourself by, again, imagine that many others, you want to become more centered to who you are. Like a lot of people, it's like they're in the room and they're actual, like they're depersonalized. Like they're not in the room, but they're also in the room. Like their mind and body and all of those things are completely disconnected. They have depersonalization. I've had that before. But a lot of people live their whole life like that. Like their body is completely disjointed. Because again, a lot of that is, it's not feeling things, and often it can come from trauma and being hurt and things like that. But it's a disconnect between you're not being true to your soul. It's a spiritual disconnect, because you can understand a mind-body disconnect. Like the mind and the heart can be disconnected, where people can't feel anything and they're kind of distracted and they're scared of getting hurt and they become like kind of like a shell of who they were. But also you can get disconnected from your spirit. That's a real thing. My spirit is in my body. I can feel it all of the time because I feel like that resolve, that resilience. Someone hits me, I hit back. I can feel like it's inside, it's there. Like it's like you feel like you can run through a brick wall because it's always in you. I feel like that's how I feel. Like I'm always completely connected to who I am because I live in the truth. Like I live to be truth to myself and truthful to others. I don't have to, the deception is very crippling, not just for you and for others, but mostly for you, because you're not going to be rewarded for who you are, because you're not being who you are. And as such, you're not going to be punished for who you are either. And the punishments are the growth lessons. Do you know how many losses I've had in my life for being who I am? How many times I've had to lose to figure out that I'd rather lose for who I am than pretend to be someone else? Do you know how many I've gone to court probably 50 times or more? I've sat in a psychiatrist's office or a psychologist's office over 200 times, hundreds of times, maybe more. Done hundreds of times with hyperbaric sessions and treatments, and I've had more treatments for PTSD than I could ever even list. And all of these treatments for like psych stuff and all of this crap and all of this and that and injuries and hardships and sat in prisons and not really known shit that was happening and seen people die many times over. I was with a girl once and she had a fentanyl overdose and they come and got me. There was a random person, someone I'd never met. It was in a nightclub. Her friend come and got me and said she'd had coke, and she'd actually had coke that it was laced with fentanyl, and she died in front of me. We were trying to resuscitate her. I had a friend of mine die a couple of months ago. They hinge around death very much and all of that stuff, so I understand the part of life, and I understand death is a reminder of life, like that it's all finite. See, everything is great because it's finite, like it will all end. There's beauty in fragility. Like it wouldn't be beautiful if it wasn't going to end. A lot of you live a life as though you don't think that it's going to end, and it will. Like your health today is going to end. There will be a day where you come on here and you're watching shit and you won't be able to do the shit that you can do today. And that will come. I hope for all of you, it's very far down the pipe, but it's going to come. Like someone watching this sort of a stream won't be here next year. Like that's just the life. That's the way that it goes. Like the life is, again, we're all on a one-way ticket. Nothing is guaranteed in life but death. There's no guarantee that you're going to live a good life. There's no guarantee you're going to live a shit life. There's no guarantee that you're going to live long, or you're going to be pain-free, or you're going to have this. You don't know. Someone's born in a shithole. Someone's born in a nice country. Someone's got the right passport. Someone's got the wrong passport. Someone's born in an Iranian passport, or like a passport that's difficult to have mobility. Others are born on a passport like US, Australia, all of these things, and that's the way that the life chose. Again, these are the cards that you were dealt. But from then on, you can still win with shit cards. That's the way it is. But you have to, again, take control of your life. You take control of your life by taking control of yourself. See, that's the thing that they want to fuck you on all of the time, and that's the thing that really gets you. Everything has value is internal, but you're taught everything that has value is external, because the deep work, the inner work, is the hardest work. I can only be who I am because of who I was, and I can only be who I'm going to be because of who I am today. Like those concepts are hard to do. Like it takes a lot of hardship to be like this, but ultimately everything that's hard was many of the best things that had ever happened to me. Sitting in prison was the best thing that ever happened to me. That's actually ever happened to me, because I got a moment to reflect, stop taking drugs, stop gambling. I was addicted to gambling for a very long time. I would have gambled in my life millions of dollars plus, for sure. Anyone who knows me from when I was in the army will know that at the end of my career I was addicted to gambling. It was common in the army. I have no excuses for it, but it's my undoing. But I was addicted to it. I've always been around it. Even as a kid, gambling was a big thing that I was around. So I've always known it. You know, it's a big part of what I've known, and that's who I was, you know, and that's life. That's not to say that I don't still go to the casino and have fun and all of this stuff, but I outgrew that. I didn't expose myself to it. Do you know how many times I'd had addictions with the pokies? I was addicted to the poker machines. It wasn't even anything else. And I would go to sleep, and then I would be hearing the poker machine tunes. Like I would be hearing them when I'm trying to sleep. I actually thought that I was going insane for periods, because I would play them for like 10 to 12 hours some days, and then I would go home, and then for like an hour or 2 hours I would hear the same thing. My dopamine was completely fried, because I would win, and then I didn't care about the money. I didn't care about the money at all. I just wanted to play, because every time the reels spin, I didn't feel like I felt like it was nothing but static going on in my head, when I had nothing but bad shit going in my head otherwise, because I was fucked up. I wasn't addressing the issue. I was only distracting from the issue. Some others don't have the same distraction, that they're addicted to gambling, but they're addicted to other shit. drugs, food, substances of different kinds, pussy, distracting themselves with meaningless sex, chasing girls is a big distraction for some. Porn itself is a big distraction, bad food, drinking, vaping, smoking, shishas, whatever shit that you do that gives you a bit of a escape from reality. Shitty TV, drama, other people's drama, like they're involved in crap drama of other people's lives to distract them from their own. And understand again, chaotic energy fuels the most. All of that chaotic energy is the best part of me. See, if I'm not busy with self-development, I'm busy with self-destruction. That's who I am. If I'm not doing this shit, I'm busy taking drugs and doing shit and partying and doing coke and fucking whores and doing all of this stuff. Like, understand that's who I am. And that's who I am at some of the time. Like, that's life for me. I've always been around that. That's always all the shit that I've ever known. I was playing Counter-Strike as a kid, but it's still thrilling. For me, that was exciting. And then I moved into nightclubs, working security at nightclubs. I was in the army. That was the most that I've been where I've been like wholesome. I didn't take drugs till I was in my late 20s. And then I started taking coke and all of this stuff, and I was around it. Once you've sold drugs for years, you're around it all of the time. Not just around it, but like around it, and it has no price. Like I could do coke all day, it doesn't cost me shit. It's essentially free. Although I am in UAE and I don't do any substances, and I never would here. This is a beautiful country and it's not to be tolerated, and understand that if you come here and you do anything with substances, you're fucked. They have zero tolerance for that here, it's their country, it's a Muslim country, so I respect it. But outside of here and other places and things and other parts and time ago and things like that, of course I'm for that. But not here, but it's their spot, and that's fine. But that's who I am. Like that's who I'm very aware that I am. I don't pretend to be anyone else. I don't pretend to be some wholesome man who's doing this and doing that. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not a priest. Like I'm very much not, as I don't pretend to be. I know my own flaws and my things and my shortcomings and things like that, but I never get other people to take drugs. I don't tell you to take that shit or take this or take that, because I understand how destructive it can be. Like it's very destructive to take drugs. It's destructive to have addictions. They're destructive to have different vices and things. Everyone has a vice, but some are more destructive than others. You know, the guy who has a vice where he has a couple of beers at the end of the night to relax is a little bit different to the guy who goes out and binge drinks like Friday, Saturday, and then is fucked Sunday, Monday and gets in fights or has arguments or drama or all this crap. That's very different. It's like what's the social effect of what you're doing? So that's it, and understand that when you're around certain things and certain ideas and go down certain paths, they can be lifelong. Like, you know, it's your brain, the hedonism treadmill I talk about often, gets conditioned to certain behaviors and certain ideas and certain things, and it's even if you come back from it and you don't do it, it still lurks there. Like it's still around. You can still fall back into it and things like that. And understand that just because you fall down certain things, and sometimes people will be like, I'll never touch drugs again, or I'll never drink again, or I'm never going to be a fuckboy again, or I'm not going to watch porn again, or all of this shit. And then they do it. They think that now like their life is over, all of this stuff. That's not true. Like everyone has moments where you win and moments where the demons win. That's it. Sometimes the demons do win. That's this part of it, and it's how you can regroup and how you can recover and how you can pick up and pick yourself up and dust yourself off that's going to determine if you're going to make it. Because failure and losing and you know, doing wrong things or doing bad things sometimes, that's part of it. You have free will. Like God gave you free will for a reason. This is not, and people are too hard on themselves. Like, yeah, the Bible's a framework on how to live and you have the 10 Commandments, but you're living here for the first time, at least from what you see, and it's no one's really given you like a reference manual and, you know, you do this at this time and do this and do that. There's basics that you should do in a framework which is going to live your life better. There's Bibles, Qurans, things like that, but still outside of that you have free choice. And a lot of the stuff like that you're guided down, or a lot of the paths that you guided down from celebrities, influencers, programming and all of stuff is the path that's going to fuck you up. So again, if you fall down those paths or into those ideas or things like that, don't be too hard on yourself. Like it's designed like that. Like they're leading you astray. But they're leading you into things like non-monogamous concepts and like, you know, be a fuckboy and worship consumer goods. And, you know, if you have clout, if you have this, if you have that, you're worthwhile. If people like your posts, then you have something to say. If people don't like your posts, then you're a nobody and you're nothing and you shouldn't be shit. You shouldn't be able to talk. That's not true. Like none of that stuff matters. My shit gets 1,000 views. That's good. I neither here nor there, but it doesn't get 1 million views, and I still talk. As you can still talk if you get 10 views. Freedom of speech is important. I don't think that it will always exist, but I think it's an important thing now. It's not just someone who can talk who has the biggest audience. That's not the case. How do else do like ideas and things get means tested? That's not the biggest thing. It's not the person who can talk who has the most money. If I have more money than you should still be able to speak. We're not living in like megalomania. A lot of people think that the smartest people in the world are actually the richest, and sometimes in many cases that's not true. Because making money and things like that, you can be intelligent in that field, but doesn't mean that you know everything. It actually really doesn't work like that. But yeah, lads, that's basically the video of today, is just taking back control of your life, owning where you're at, being honest about who you are, writing down, things about yourself that you like, what you don't like, what you would change in the next 6 to 12 months to get to where you want to go. Like maybe you're overweight, maybe you're out of shape, maybe if you're honest with yourself, you've let yourself go. See, I take boxing matches and things like that because I always have to keep it. I have to know where I'm at. It keeps me wholesome. Keeps me going down the path that I'm going down. It keeps me off going down a hedonism path, if only for 3 to 6 month periods. I think that if I have 6 months good and then 3 to 6 months bad, or not bad, but somewhat off the tracks, then so be it. Like I'm not a robot. 6 months for me to be good is still a win by my books, because I'm very I've been ungoverned for a very long period of time. Like when you have all of the decisions and things that you can make yourself, and you've got money and you've got to live things and options and things, it makes it a lot harder. And that's not to say that I make excuses for it, because I own everything about myself, everything that I've ever done. But that's just the way it is. Like that's the truth of the matter. Time, idle hands can be the devil's plaything, so I keep very busy. I keep making these. But yeah, lads, so that's the take for today. Put an inventory of yourself, where you are, where you want to be, and who you want to become. And that's not to say that you want to become another man, but you might like certain parts of someone else, and you can step into those sort of shoes within who you are. Like your values and your morals and your things you value or what you want is going to be somewhat different to mine. I mean, foundationally it's probably similar, but then beyond that, things that you want will be different to what I want, and who you want to be might be different to who I want to be. So that's the thing. But understand, I'm still going down a tunnel. I still have an idea for where I want to be. I know my life path is solely to help others. I've already done everything myself that I've wanted. See, I've already done everything that I ever wanted. I could die tomorrow. Someone say, "Oh, Stephen, you're going to die tomorrow." I could still be happy, die happy. I've done everything that I wanted to do. I'm so much further along than I ever thought that I would be. When I was a young kid, I didn't think that I would live very long, because I remember I used to have no friends when I was in school. And I'd be like 15, 16, I had no friends. My friends were all on the internet. I was playing Counter-Strike. And I didn't think that I was going to live very long, because I remember thinking like I'm fucked up, like I'm depressed, people don't like me. I'm weird. I'm different. People would call me Stephen Strange in school because I was a weirdo. Like, I'm not weird in that I was a predator or something like that, but I was just quiet, shy, didn't know what to say. I had a lot of deep ideas and things that other people didn't really have. I looked at things different to other people looked. I didn't mind hanging out with the people that were freaks or like weirdos, or people that were determined that people didn't like them for whatever reason. I didn't mind hanging out with them. I thought they were interesting. I never got gel with the popular people. I still don't. I don't hang out with the popular people. I don't gel it, because I realize popularity is, they are just trying to be popular. They're actually not, it's not fluid. They're trying to be popular, and they're trying to hang out with other popular people. That's a strategy. And then I realized that it's bullshit. Like they're not, the realest ones are often the ones that people don't like. That's the thing, because they're not trying to impress anyone. Also, they're not really trying to be anyone else that they're not. And sometimes when you go down certain paths, you have to expect that you're not going to be popular. Like my channel is not a mainstream channel, and I don't expect that it ever would be. And that's fine. It's not meant to be. It's the right people will come in, and the right people will absorb it, and the right people will know about it. And that's how information will stay valuable. All right, lads. I appreciate you guys listening, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Till next time.